is National Prevention and Awareness Day for fentanyl, a drug so toxic that it's not only claimed the lives of people right here in the tri-state, but all across the country. While law enforcement is on the front lines of this epidemic, chemists are also working to understand the drugs. Myself and chief photographer John Simpson traveled to Chicago to understand what happens after the bust. You'll hear it on the news every few months or so.
When you take off 30 guns, over 40 pounds of methamphetamine and 3,700 fentanyl pills, that's a big win for the community.
A drug bust was conducted in a community near you, whether it's Evansville,
Erica, come to the door.
In Posey County, across state lines in Owensboro, and cities in between. Task forces and agencies are working to rid communities of these drugs. But what happens after the raid? Where do these fatally toxic drugs go once in the hands of law enforcement?
So they have to be very diligent that they're not going to be exposed to whatever they're working on.
Downtown Chicago is home to one of many laboratories across the country where evidence is taken after a drug bust. This lab covers 12 Midwestern states.
We have a team of evidence specialists that take the evidence when it arrives, and they verify that it's consistent with the paperwork, seals are intact.
From there, the drugs are stored in the lab's main evidence vault prior to analysis by chemists.
At that point, the chemists will take it into their possession. They have smaller security boxes that they keep the evidence in while they're doing their analysis.
These are definitely the most vibrant ones that I've ever analyzed personally.
You're looking at hundreds of rainbow fentanyl pills, what agents call a marketing tactic.
It makes your heart break, because that's exactly what's happening. They're trying to market so people will think it's cooler to look at these pills and take them and want them, and it's definitely a concern, no question about it.
But because these drugs didn't make it onto the streets, this is where senior forensic chemist Luis Chavez and his colleagues come in.
On a day-to-day basis, we'll analyze the evidence submitted to the laboratory from agents and assist them by providing evidence analysis and tell them what the exhibits contain.
Sounds pretty cut and dry, right? Well, not so fast. Daily, these chemists are up against the unknown, using extreme caution and carefully thought out safety measures, including lab coats, goggles and gloves, an N95 mask when necessary, and work only conducted within their station's hood.
Whoever gets that could turn it into their own thing.
A ventilated system that helps circulate the air for any of the particles being aerosolized.
So we don't know what we're dealing with, which increases the dangers of what we're dealing with.
After evidence is weighed, qualitative testing begins to really see what's inside these drugs.
When we're testing, we're never testing for a specific drug or for a specific analyte. We're always doing a kind of like a full screen, think of it that way, a full screen of any controlled substances that are present in the exhibit that gets submitted.
Many times, what's inside includes fentanyl, the very drug that contributes to what DEA Assistant Special Agent Michael Gannon calls an epidemic.
Without question, carfentanil is the most dangerous things going on, and we've never seen anything like it.
You hear it all the time. The smallest bit of fentanyl can kill, but visually it's incredible to see. Just enough to cover Lincoln's ear on the penny is a fatal dosage.
So if you look at what happened in the United States on a national level for 2022, there was about 110,000 overdose deaths. Of that number, I think fentanyl was about 82,000. Picture an airline filled with 300 people crashing every single day. That's what's happening in our country with drug overdose deaths.
Breaking that stat down even more, Gannon says in Indiana alone, there was about 2,800 overdose deaths in 2022.
Look, we're going to go out and do what we do, but we need to partner up together to spread this awareness, because it's so important. And we need people that are good students, good athletes, teachers, coaches. If they can spend good messages, help our community, and be a pillar of strength for people, that you can go out and touch someone and encourage them not to use drugs.
So now agents are asking, be the difference maker.
Because there's never been a more dangerous time than right now, just because of how the fentanyl is being added to everything.
One thing you might still be wondering is how are those drugs then destroyed? Officials tell me the drugs are safely incinerated at another undisclosed location.